Evil prophetic revivals, the prophets from Africa are coming, DVD number 3. Today we're going to begin to cover 5 ways you can gain the Nigerian's prophet's power. Secret number 1. Find a spiritual leader that will assist you in preparing you to have the secret forest experience. You as a prophet have to find someone that's a spiritual leader that will help you prepare for this experience. He has to be a person that is operating in Santeria and has years of experience. He has to be someone that you trust. He has to be someone that is established. Remember, don't go down to your local botanica and be able to speak to someone that you don't even know, that you can't even really trust to help you with this experience. This is a no-no. And let me make this very clear. You cannot just use anyone to prepare you for the secret forest experience. If you go to your local botanica and you're dealing with a voodoo man, you don't even know what that person is doing and what his motives are. So I want to make this very clear. You have to find someone you trust. So let me give you some examples on the person you should find. Number 1, look for an occult leader that has been operating with Santeria for many years and communicating with the deities and can show you some level of proof that his magical powers actually work. Number 2, look for someone that's a leader. You know, when you look for people, you know, someone can say that they're a leader, but it's different when you see books, tapes, videos, and DVDs. Remember that in every field, the way you know that this person is a leader in the field, they can show evidence of their knowledge. So look for someone that has his own books, tapes, videos, DVDs. Maybe he has his own seminars. Maybe he has his own conferences. Look for someone that's a leader that really knows what they're talking about. And this is the reason why I would not recommend that you go to a botanica and you find one of those people to help you with this experience. Because I do not consider a person that uses black magic a leader. And I would not trust a person that's using occult powers. And if you really don't know this person. You remember, you can't trust everybody in the world of the occult. Now, I make available a service called Private Rituals for Power and Money for a $500 service, where we will perform rituals at 12 midnight using ceremonies, white outfits, candles, and more until the deities of Santeria grant you the prophet power. If you can't find a spiritual leader where you're located, then contact the ministry and say, Master Prophet, I would like for you to help me to gain spiritual powers and go through the process of the secret forest. And what I'll do is I'll provide you the materials, we'll do the outfits, and we'll go through that whole process so that we can help you to gain powers. Remember, find a spiritual leader you can trust. Find a spiritual leader that can prove, because, you know, I get a lot of people that will say, you know, Master Prophet, I know this guy and he has all these magical powers. He's well known. And then when I go and investigate the person, he has no books. He has no DVDs. He has no courses. He has no websites. It's all word of mouth. So do you really believe that this person can be trusted? I doubt it. That's the reason why I say don't go to your local botanica to find a person to help you with power. You have to find someone you trust. And let me make it very clear. You contact my ministry. I'll be more than happy to help you with this experience. Number 2, you must create a compelling story that you will tell the Christians that will convince them that your magical powers came from God. Whoa. You have to realize this, that when you stand in front of a church pulpit, you cannot say the name of Santeria. You will not be able to use Elegua Chango. You're not going to be able to use it. For you to prophet, for you as a prophet to operate in magical powers, you have to use Christian terminology. This is the only way it's going to work. So you can be a bishop, you can be a pastor, you can be a prophetess, you could be an evangelist. You could be any of those in the fivefold ministry. You can operate with Santeria, but when you're standing in front of the Christian people, you have to use Christian terminology. This is the only way magical powers will work. And let me make that very clear. So in secret number 2, you must create a compelling story you will tell the Christians that will convince them of the magical powers came from God. You have to come up with a convincing, compelling story on how you got power, because most Christians will not accept that you're worshiping a deity. So let me give you some advice. You can begin to come up with a story that when you accepted Jesus Christ, you had a vision. And in this vision, you saw an angel come to you and said, God has given you the power of healing and giving you the power to prophesy. And that your number one mission in life is to save souls through the gift of prophecy and through the gift of healing. If you use that story and you combine it with your prophetic ministry and you teach it everywhere you go, that your gift of prophecy is to bring more souls to Christ, it's for the salvation of the gospel, and you keep telling people this over and over, and you keep spreading this, I guarantee you success in your prophetic ministry. Because what people will do is they'll see that you have an incredible power of prophecy and the ability to heal and cast out demons. And because your message is talking about salvation, bringing people to Jesus Christ, people will open the doors. In turn, you will make incredible amount of money. Now, will there be a conflict if you teach in Christian theology using occult powers like Santeria? No. Master Prophet Noel can stand in front of any prophetic conference for hours, healing the sick, raising the dead, casting out demons, working incredible miracles under the power of Santeria. And in that conference, all you will hear me teach and preach is about Jesus Christ. Master Prophet Noel is an expert in Christian theology, so I can easily flow. And instead of saying it's Chango that's giving me the message, I'll say it's an angel. Instead of saying that it's Elegua that's showing me a sign in your body that you have a cancer in your body, I will say it's the Holy Spirit. What you do is you mix the Christian terminology into your occult sciences and you present it to the masses. Now you say, Master Prophet, why would you hide your occult powers and begin to fool Christians? Because there's more money. Mark my words. If you try to take the title of a psychic, you will never make as much money as you can go into the Christian church. If you try to take the title as a medium, you're never going to make the money. If you try to take the title as an occult leader, there is more money in the Christian church than any place you find in the occult. Let me make that as clear as possible. Now you say, Master Prophet, give me an example. Well, think about the Botanica. Think about the spiritual store you have in your neighborhood that sells candles. They sell Santeria statues. They sell oils. Look at the level of wealth that one store is producing. Chances are, if you live in a community and you have a Botanica, I can pretty much guarantee you that that Botanica store has limited amount of money that it produces. And I'm making it very clear. In most neighborhoods, Botanicas are not making so much money. Now, let me use that example. We're talking about a Botanica. Imagine most of the Christian churches. Think about it for a moment. There are hundreds of thousands of churches all over the world. Let's say you get into one church that just has 300 members. Just 300 members, which is not a difficult thing to do. If you're in one church that has 300 members, I guarantee you that when you're using occult powers, you can pull someone out of the audience and says, Miss, come to the front. Hurry. The Holy Spirit is speaking. Come. I need to give you a word. What is your name? She tells you her name is Sally. The Holy Spirit says there's something wrong with your body. There's a formation of a cancer cell that's growing inside your body. Have you spoken to the doctors? Do you know that you have cancer growing in your body? When that woman starts to cry and become amazed, I could guarantee you that you could do two things. Number one, you can ask that woman for a $2,000 donation to pray it away. Number two, you could influence everyone that is part of that ministry to give you thousands of dollars because of your ability to operate at that level. So when you think about the Christian church, there's more money than can be found in your local botanica. That's why I'm making it clear. That's why you have to hide your magical powers. Now I want to make this also clear. Does Master Prophet Noel need to hide his magical powers? No. And let me explain why. The deities do not permit me to hide. They do not permit me. That's why when you go to my website, you can see courses on Santeria, the occult. You can see the 666 method. You can see all these occult. Why? They don't permit me to hide. Why? Because the money that I make, that is the bulk of my money, comes to church leaders that are looking to gain these levels of powers. And because I have apostles, bishops, church leaders that own multiple churches, that are in charge of multiple denominations, since they give me so large of an income, I don't need to hide, and I can make myself more clearly in front of the masses. So this is the reason. But you as a prophet are going to have to hide, and you're going to have to use these occult techniques.